Hello, everybody. Welcome to Moe'S CD Culture Show and Tell. And on today's episode, we're going to start our 7-part feature of Rush. Now, this collection is going to go all over the place, and it is pretty extensive. So bear with me. And like I said in my little update, in my last little update, that I'm going to be releasing them partial. I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters today, of course, but the rest of the chapters, the other 5, are going to be posting on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So you can look forward to those. I will be posting them on the same time each day, so you'll something to look forward to. Now, as I go along, you're going to see that how I'm going to try to break this down, because I want to try to keep this in chronological order of release dates of when they were released, except for the last 2 chapters, which are actually special chapters, and you'll see why when they get to those. They are special. So we're going to just kind of get into it. First of all, I want to tell you a little story, and the story will continue throughout the chapters as I go along. But when I was living up in Montreal for 10.5 years, throughout my entire 30s, I moved up there when I turned 30, and I moved back to Moncton when I around 40 in my 40s. So I've been back to Moncton here now for about 12 years now. Okay. Now, I was aware of Rush. Okay, I was aware of the band, but I know, and I liked it. I bought a couple of albums here and there, and I had like Roll the Bones on cassette and stuff like that. I mean, I was a fan, but not enough of a fan at the time. I mean, I just kind of liked them in passing. I was aware of who they were. They had some great songs, but I kind of never really followed them and stuff. But then I met a guy up in Montreal who ended up becoming my roommate. And just for the sake, I'm not going to name names, but just for the sake of this, let's call him Patrick Freedom. Okay, that's pretty close to his name, but it's not his name. Anyway, this guy, Patrick, he was a huge Rush fan, pretentiously so. You know, you couldn't argue with him that it was, to him, no, it is the greatest band ever. There's no greater band. And of course, his obsession was mainly Neil Peart. He was obsessed about Neil Peart, 100%. So yeah, I had lived with him as a roommate for about a good 10 months, and throughout those 10 months, he played on average up to 3 Rush albums per day. Once in a while, he might miss a day because he'll give it a break, but on the average, he played it a lot. And this guy was a French guy, so he really didn't understand English all that well. He only liked it for the music. He liked it for the drummer. He was into the beats, and he kept on focusing on the beats, and I was trying to, show him other parts of the band. He got, I memorized so much of the lyrics as you're going to find out as you go through these. I have an incredible memory for song lyrics. I know so many lyrics. It's probably cramming out so much other information I should be keeping in here. But I can't even count how many lyrics I'm pretty sure I know the entire songs to. But anyway, I ended up learning all the lyrics to the songs. I'm pretty sure he became jealous of that I was getting into it more than he was. I was singing the lyrics, and he couldn't really get that depth into it like he wanted to. He wished he could, but he felt limited in his favorite band in the whole entire world, which I don't blame them. But now let's get back into the presentation here. I'll start with the very first CD. This is before Neil Peart joined the band. This had John Rutsey as the drummer. But this is a strong debut. I really love it. It has Finding My Way, Need Some Love, Take a Friend, Here Again, What You're Doing, In the Mood, Before and After, and of course, the fan favorite, Working Man. And it was because of Working Man in Seattle? Cleveland? No, or Cleveland. Cleveland, yeah, I think it was in Cleveland. Anyway, they played Working Man, and the people there just, when's the new Led Zeppelin album coming out? Not Led Zeppelin, Rush. So yeah, this is a great debut. And give you a quick look here. Here's what they kind of look like back in the day. You know, you got Geddy Lee, Alec Lifeson, and John Rutsey in the middle. So that was Rush in the beginning. But then for health reasons. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, Mike. So for health reasons, John Rutsey couldn't continue with the band, and it was for the better, of course, because they had interviewed this scrawny little geeky guy, who liked reading and stuff, this nerd that knew how to play drums really well. So they kind of hit it off pretty much right away. And they went into the studio and they created this, Fly By Night, which I really love Fly By Night. And it starts off strong with Anthem, Best I Can, Beneath, Between, and Behind. One of my personal favorites in the 8 minutes and 37 second long, By Tor and the Snow Dog. The fantastic title track of Fly By Night, Making Memories, Rivendell, which is of course based on is the song about that place in the Lord of the Rings tales, and then the last song, In the End. Which this is a fantastic album, and every Rush album is fantastic, as you're going to see. So that was the beginning of Neil doing some fantastic stuff. But nobody was prepared to where they were going to take this. Now, this next album, although the group themselves were very, very happy with this, and they were proud of it, and they thought this is the coolest thing they had done, it wasn't as well received as it should have been, and that's Caress of Steel. And as you see again, when I get the remasters whenever possible. I really need remasters, the best quality whenever I can. But Caress of Steel, it starts off strong with Bastille Day. Then I don't know, it takes a weird turn with I Think I'm Going Bald, which is, I don't know, the weakest song in the album for me, and it's okay. Then there's Lakeside Park, which is a pretty good standard. But then this is where people kind of turned off, because they have these concept parts, these multi-layered concept parts like the Necromancer, and then the next track. There's only like 5 tracks technically. The Fountain of Lament, and the Necromancer has 3 different chapters in it, and then the Fountain of Lament has like 6 different chapters in it. So it kind of lost people there. People weren't really into it anymore. Well, but the true Rush fan really appreciates the balls in this, because this is great. I really love it. Now the next one, Rush 2112. That, when this first came out, it blew people's minds, and this was their FU to the record company after the failure basically of Caress of Steel. they could have, they either listened to the record studio and did what they wanted, or they say, hey, you know what, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out in a blaze of glory. So we're going to create one of the greatest albums, in our repertoire, one of two, which we will get to in another episode. But anyway, as we can see, it starts off with 2112, which is, the first side. The first side is all one song. So those are all just chapters. So you get the overture, the Temple of Syrinx. This is what most people play. They usually play that part, and they skip over Discovery, Presentation, Oracle of Dream, and Soliloquy. They skip over those, and they kind of cut it right into the grand finale. So they'll start off with the overture and the Temple of Syrinx, like for the radio cat I'm talking about, and they'll skip all these next four, and then they'll just kind of go into the grand finale, cutting it down. And still, they consider that too long for radio. Sometimes they don't even play the grand finale, or they'll only play the grand finale, or they'll only play the Temple of Syrinx, or whatever, how they did it. I remember hearing it on the radio a few times, and it was like, not the whole thing. Well, it's okay. But then you flip it over, to side two, and it was a passage to Bangkok, which is, we all know about the good stuff. And then you get that Twilight Zone, which is a song about the TV show, which is awesome. Lessons, which is a good song also. Tears is a great song. And one of my personal favorites, Something for Nothing, which is a great great motto. You can't get something for nothing. You can't get things for free. Not in this world. Everything pays. Even when you see something that says, oh, get this for free, it's not really free. You're always paying in some way or another. You're paying for it, then you're paying for it in ways you don't know then. But that's just so this all accumulates, these four albums, into this grandiose event. And this is all the world they stage. And if you don't know, this has all the great stuff from that. I mean, it starts off with Bastille Day, which is one of my favorite Rush opening songs in some ways. There are others too that are just as strong. But then you got Anthem, Fly By Night, In the Mood mix. They kind of bunched those two together. Then there's Something for Nothing. See, it's so strong of a song they put it in the fourth in the lineup. Then you get Lakeside Park. And then you get the 2112 Overture, where they play all the chapters. They play all of it. And then, pretty much. No, they play at least 5. Is it 5 out of the... Yeah, they play 5 out of the 6 chapters for 2112. Wait a second. Is that what they did? What part did they cut out? Oh, they cut out... Okay, they went Overture. They went the Temple of Syrinx. But they skipped over Discovery. They go right into Presentation, Soliloquy, and the grand finale. So, in this live performance, where people think, oh, they played the whole thing. Nope, they actually didn't. They cut out the Discovery part of it. But I do remember hearing it in it. Why isn't it not say it there? Because look at that. Okay, it's go Overture, Temple of Syrinx, and right to the Presentation. Instead of on this, where it goes Overture, Temple of Syrinx, Discovery, Presentation. So they cut one out of the song, or they just didn't print it onto the back here. But then they continue, of course, with By Tor and the Snow Dog, In the End, Working Man, Finding My Way, combo, and then What You're Doing to close off. And this is a great, great, great live show. Beautiful. So I don't want to get too far into into this episode because I know I want to have a couple of long ones coming up here. There's a lot of rush to get into. I have everything pretty much, and you'll see. So that is it for me. I have it all here waiting to be presented for the next chapters. Everything is all lined up. I'm taping them all at once. But as I said, I'm not going to release them all at once. I'm only releasing the first 2 today and the other 5 during the week. I'm going to schedule them. So take care, everybody. Be safe. Have a good day, evening, night, wherever you may be. And I will see you on the flip side. Later.